Well, hey folks, this is Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the man cave. All right, I reached out to HSD JETS, and I noticed, I'd heard through the grapevine, one of my viewers or someone was saying, hey, that HSD JETS are coming out. HSD JETS is coming out with an entry-level line of 80mm jets, and they're plug and play. They're going to try to get into the smaller jet market because typically they're known for your higher end turbines and your great big 105 and 120mm bigger EDFs and then turbines and stuff. And they want to get in on the smaller 80mm or the more entry level type jets. And so they came out with two. They came out with a JL10 and an F-9 COUGAR. All right, well, I reached out. I wanted that JL10, and I reached out to him and I said, hey, I'd like to get that. Actually, I went ahead and bought it. And I didn't see the single. I don't have any idea how long it's been out, but I looked all over the internet, worldwide, you know, and did not find the first video on them. I didn't even find an advertisement for these entry-level jets. So I went, you know, I had their big Cessna 182, the big two meter one. Loved it. Flew the dog mess out, sold it to a guy at the club. Well, anyways, so I know they're a good quality product and they've been around for a while, but then they came out with these and I said, you know what, I'm going to get that JL10. I don't have one. I'd like to have one, the canards and everything. But could not find any videos, no media, just their page. And they got a US and an English and I think a Japanese or an Oriental based one and a warehouse. And bought the JL10. It was $279. And so, you know, they don't know me from Adam. Well, I bought it, got the confirmation, said, okay, cool. Waited a few days. Okay, where's the tracking number? So I emailed him and I said, hey, I'm just curious where the tracking number to the, I didn't know, the warehouse is in Texas. And they said, we're very sorry. And apparently it's just one guy working there. And he said, I'm sorry, I had some issues, personal issues, and I'm going to get it out tonight. And I said, okay, well, this is Fat Guy Flies RC, just let you know, and I'm going to be doing an unboxing build. Maybe you take a look at my stuff. He wrote me back immediately. He said, oh, yeah. He said, I've seen your channel. I know you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll get it out. I'm going to have it out to you right away, you know. And we had a little banter back and forth, a little conversation. And he said, yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the internet about talking about these planes, but there's nothing, no video, no media on it. So, and he said about both of them, the F9F COUGAR, which is what this one, and the JL10. I'll get to that. And he said, okay. So he said, I'll get it right out to you. So I get my tracking number. And then I notice it said 2 of 2. Wait a minute. Two boxes. Hold on. I said, and one box is like 7 or 8 pounds. The other box is like 5 or 6 pounds. I'm like, well, wait a minute, that's not that big of a plane, you know. How could it be two? Well, I wrote him back and I said, hey, I got my notification, got 2 boxes coming. Why? Why is just one plane? He said, no, I'm sending you the COUGAR too. He said, yeah, you get to keep it. That's your COUGAR. He goes, I want you to put it on your channel. I'm like, hey, I didn't ask him. So that's what we're unboxing right now. Now, so that was my little backstory, my little rant. I was like, hey, pleasant surprise, you know, the good Lord really blessing me. And you get the box, and then you open the box. There's no box art. There's no, just a plain white, you know, styrofoam coffin with a piece of cardboard across the top. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you something about both, and I got them both, and I'll be doing both, but I'm just going to do them one at a time, obviously. I've just taken this off, and this is the same, it looks like the same dimensions as the Freewing F9F COUGAR. And everything's still sealed up. So let's hope everything's everything's in a nice protected, like a lot of these planes are. I don't know much about the company. I just know they make in the higher end jets and stuff, and they have a few prop planes. I don't know how long the company's been around. I took a chance, but this plane is very simple: rudder, elevator, ailerons, and throttle. That's it. There's 4 channels. There is no retracts, no flaps. Just a very simple plane. I like that all plastic there. Traditional. Oh, this is kind of cool. Instead of you have a plastic clevis arm, but it has a mechanical metal pin going through it instead of the typical plastic. So, yeah, in order to change that around, I guess you're not going to be able to change that around. I don't know. I would say, but this is supposed to be a simple plane, 80 millimeter though, so it's going to, yeah. Says, let's see on there. Rudder. Okay, rudder something. Rudder terminal. Rudder channel. Okay. But decals are already applied. The foam this is very, very hard foam. Not heavy. It's very light, but it's very hard. And it's very, you can't see I mean, look at that. It is hard to find them. You see the fill marks, but trying to find the cells, that's not, I like that. That's impressive. That is impressive. Everything seems to be very, oh, this is cool. Like I said, I don't know anything about this company other than I flew their Cessna and I really enjoyed it. All right. You know what? Let me show you the wing and then we'll just get everything out of the box. Again, this is all hard plastic. I guess you could add, there's a place in there to add. I guess you could add retracts, you know, if you had them, but it just has fixed gear and you just bolt them in. But I like the fact this is all hard plastic. Huh, and I don't see any place to put a screw. That's interesting. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just undo everything and then we'll go over the parts. So let's just pause for just a moment. All right, we're back. All right, fast forward through that, got everything out of the box. This is awesome. This entire nose, that's all hard plastic. And the wing has a quick connect release. So all you're going to do is slide your spar through there, run your wires, and then you have a quick connect. So that is cool. Okay. You got your two elevator and your rudder leads back there labeled. Okay, this is a, man, huge battery bay. Look at how big that battery bay is. Look at that. Hey, look at this. Reversed thrust. Yellow pigtail. That's a EC5 connector. But you know what? There's no instructions. You more than likely have to download them off the internet or something. Look at this cheater. They even took the time for your little tiller arm to move your, for your nose wheel. They taped the little thing down there. I like that. That's just, this plastic, you could add retracts to this if you wanted to. I guess just to keep the cost down. And look, everything is routed through a hardwood thing. Yeah, you can tell this is set up to be a more expensive model, but they're trying to keep the cost down. I'm impressed. I'm impressed so far. So far, I'm impressed. All right, so you got a big old fuselage, quick connect wings. Okay, which I already showed you the wings. Each half of, yeah, that's right. You put a spar through the elevator. Everything is hooked up. Everything up here, I'm sure it's going to be already centered. We'll test it during the build. And the only thing it looks like the only thing you got to glue on are these. Oh, and this is where they go. It's obvious. There's a cutout there. They just glue right in there just like that. I mean, this is a very, I guess this is more about performance than it is about features. This is just a baseline model, but we're going to see how she flies. And one thing, this fixed gear, this is like, I wish there was a way you could reach for the camera and feel this. This is like, it's suspension gear, but that entire, look at this entire shaft here. Okay. Ball link there, which that's up front. Okay. The main gear, bolt in. They're fixed, but this is like really heavy grade metal. I mean, yes, it's aluminum, but it's like, these are not made of plastic, free wing. Sometimes you make yours of plastic, which is stupid. Man, and that goes all the way through. I guess you could easily take this, I guess you could hand launch it. I don't know why you would, but you know, I guess you could, but the belly is very smooth. You get a bunch of grass in there though. Fan is easily accessible there. Take a look at this is strange. Well, I will not be able to add an afterburner to this. I could add a center burner, but not an afterburner, because all the afterburners I use, you hook into the back of the motor. Okay? Well, that is sealed, so there'll be no afterburner in this. That's a shame. But this is their motor. So I'm not going to be able to, not going to complain. All right. So what kind of screws? There's no screws here. We have, it looks like, Phillips head screwdriver, but they have these extra hinges and extra clevises and stuff, but there's no need for them. Everything's already hooked up, so I guess it's just a standard bag of goodies. And pretty honking, some heavy duty screw, but looks like everything is Phillips head. All right. So other than gluing these, I don't know what the central fins or air ducting fins, that's pretty much all. And so, all right. Well, we're going to pause for just a minute, get our materials together that we need to build it, and then we'll come back and build it. So just stand by. All right, we're back. Now, I could not find any instructions, so we're going to proceed without. However, I did notice that in the kit, you have there's three different types of screws, okay? You got two of these very small, look like wood screws, okay? Don't lose them, you only get two of them. And I'm thinking that's what, when you put your elevator in there, I'm thinking that's what screws into there. I'm thinking, I'm not sure. And you get a lot of extra screws, and you get a lot of extra of, I don't know what these are, these pin hinges, okay? Pin hinges, get some extra one of them, extra clevises, backing plates of some sort, but everything's hooked up, so you don't have to, that's just extra in case. So let's start with our nose gear. Okay, nose gear, there's a ball link. Remember, I took that tape off. That's just going to bolt on the inside there. There's already a pattern. Okay, and because of the way that is, now the bolts for the gear, you've got 12 of these heavier duty round-headed screws. So I'm going to assume that, and they do well with magnets, that's going to be for the gear, hold the gear in place. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Or maybe not. It must be the heavier, it must be these longer, but still hefty. Must be these longer screws in. Yeah, because they go right through. Okay, so it's these long, it's the one you have the most, well, that kind of makes sense. Make sure that you put your ball link on the same size that your connection is going to be on. And because of the way this is put, I suggest go ahead and hooking your ball link up now. We can worry about whether it's centered later on. We can adjust it later. All right. I mean, and that's got compression, but that's in there. Okay, so let's get that gear. Now, be careful. One of my leads had fallen back in there, but there's one of the aileron leads, but so easy to get to. Plenty of room. So let's go ahead and put the wing on. Okay. Very simple. Let me grab some connectors here. Connector locks in my stash. Whenever time if you have servo leads that don't have connections, locks on them, I highly suggest you use these guys here. You get, I mean, they're like $8 or $6, and you get like 20 of them. And they're just, you know, versus you having a connection come loose or get loose just enough and you don't see it, and it's really not a good connection. This just locks them in place. I just highly, should only need 4 or 5 of these. Okay. All right, let me show you what we're doing here. Okay, on the wing, I'm going to fish the wing in. I'm going to connect both. Let me get you closer. Okay. Going to be connecting both sides of these servo leads together. Okay, and you always connect them light to light, dark to dark. Okay. Okay. So that's in there, and then you take the lock, and it's just universal. It slides over both ends and holds that in place. Now, this is cool. I'll lock this in here. That's got plenty of room. Pull back on that. Man, that locks it in place. Okay, we'll put the spar through. That should straighten that wing out. But that's all that holds that in place. Yeah, that makes that solid. Now, I would like to see me put a screw in there somewhere, but no, that's in there. Okay, we're going to repeat the same process on the other side. We'll just turn the plane over. Okay. Yeah, it's very obvious that you could add retracts to this. They've got the cutouts and everything for it. And grab another one of my little locking things here. Okay, light to light, dark to dark. I don't care who makes the servo. It's Futaba, Spectrum, JR, whatever. Light to light, dark to dark is always the connection. It's always the polarity. You always follow that. You'll never have an issue. Put that in there. They lock in place. Okay, make sure no wires get pinched. There's plenty of room in there. Okay, probably got to do that locking mechanism thing. Yeah. just like the free wing one. Pull back on it, slide it in. There you go. Make sure that one is. Pull back. There. When you hear them click in, you know they're in there. All right. Don't really like how there's a gap there. This is where I would like to see the locking mechanism also up here. But there again, we're doing for simplicity here. Okay. Back you up just a little bit. Okay. We're going to turn this bad boy over. Yeah, I mean, that just screams retract. Now, I am going to assume, which I know that's a dangerous thing to do, that, no, okay, that's going to fit down in there. I'll bet it only fits, well, maybe. All right, I'm going to put my wheels on the outside just to make my stance just a little bit wider. That might be wrong. I don't know. If it is, it is. Okay. You know what? Let's do something I think would make this a whole lot easier. Is take, that's a big old hex drive. I think that's a 2. No, that's a 2. Yep. 2mm hex drive. 2.5 actually. Let's take that out. Okay, slide that gear out. I bet you that goes all the way through. It does. That big screw goes all the way through there. So it ain't gonna come out. Okay, I'm gonna pull that out. Okay, and put that aside, and then we're gonna mount that base in there. That'll be able to making life a whole lot easier. It only fits, I mean, you can do either way, but as far as the mount, the base here goes in there, I want to have the long part or the shaft towards the fuse, but it'll fit the other way too. It'll fit this way. I want to put that in there like that. Maybe. You got to fish it in there. It ain't going to go in there willingly. Okay. Support the underside of it. Now you could have done this with the wings off, but I like the fact that it fits tight down there in that channel. So this thing has a very obvious stopping point. This is different, but in a good way. All them screws, they have a very definite bottoming out point. I mean, when you're there, you're there. There is no guesswork. It doesn't keep going. Doesn't feel like you can strip it. I'm sure you could, but it sure don't feel like you could. All right, let's entertain the tail here. Okay, and move you. Oh, sorry. All right, now I'm going to put in your. Okay. All right. Here's what you're going to do. What you're going to want to do. All right. You're going to want to assemble your tail first. Okay. Obviously, the control side is going to be down. You're going to see a little hole there. Going to come out there. So you're going to want to fish There's a very definite channel there. Okay. I want to fish that through, which I can see it coming through there. Now, Freewing gives you a little go-get-em wire for that. Boy, that fits in there tight. What I'm doing is I'm taking my finger and fishing that through there. Let me grab here. Save these go-get-em wires. You're going to want to save the go-get-em wires. Whenever, anytime you have it, let me see if I can get away without using it. Okay. Because this would be just like you put it together at the house, and you may not have all luxury, all the different pieces of equipment that I have, that I've just gathered over the years. Okay. All right, I know the perfect tool for this. Move you again, which I didn't think I was going to need it, but I do. So, pause. We're back. All right, these little like go get 'em tools. Get them at Home Depot. You get them at Lowe's, Walmart. They just got that little curved, angled end. It's like a mechanic's dental tool. If that makes any sense at all. But see, looky there. Then I'm able to reach up in there and grab a hold of that wire. Now, go ahead and get that in there. I mean, that sucker fits in there tight. But you can see it's in there. Okay. And I've got, looks like 2 screws left to go. So I'm going to assume these long, thin screws, the same ones I use on the landing gear, putting my thumb back on the underside of it to yeah. Fits there nice and flush. Then I'm going to take my wing spar for the tail. Okay. I'm going to put the tail on its wing spar. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take that wire. Repeat the same process. Now it's going to be a little bit harder this time because now I've got 2 wires down there. You say, well, 2, well, yeah, well, I also got the wire from that rudder servo is also already occupying that channel. So, and this is where that tool, which just go ahead, if you're going to put more than one model together, go ahead and get one of these. It is worth the investment of a couple of bucks, and you get 2 of them. You get this one and another one, like a straight one I never use, but I use this one all the time. Okay. but you got to get them through there. Okay. Come on, you're right there at the end. It's right here. There it is. Ah, pushed it right back in. Just be careful, don't pierce the wires. Okay, you don't want to pierce the wires. Arg. Okay. I mean, that sucker's in there tight. It's in there tight, which is a good thing. You're not going to take it apart, I can tell you that. Yep. Not quite. There we go. Okay, finally got it going in there. And again, has a definite bottoming out point, but very even. All right, now got 3 wires here hanging out. One is labeled rudder, one is labeled rudder. So obviously we're going to hook up the rudder. The other 2 obviously are elevators. So I'm going to take my little connections. Remember, light to light, dark to dark, rudder to rudder. Okay, you stay there. Okay, light to light, dark to dark. They you can tell when they click in with each other. Okay. You've got a little more room with these aileron connections. Big difference between filming, building something yourself, and then building something while you're trying to film it. Okay. Light to light, dark to dark. Take my little locking mechanism there. I just highly suggest you use these. And since all this is just screws together and bolts together, you know, I could have tested all these servos, which would have been a smart thing to do, but no, I didn't do that. But I'm going to show you how to do that real quick, because everything's up there anyways, is up there at the end, so I'll be able to test it all. I highly doubt that this quality of jet and company trying to, you know, do the right thing and try to sell at entry level is going to have crappy parts, you know. So, all right, those are all connected. You have a very large channel. I'll be willing to bet that I could probably pull on them wires. And I was right. Okay. You can kind of pull on them wires a little bit, but there's a channel block in there. Okay, yeah, it's the ESC wires are kind of in the way, but you still got plenty of room for them, for all that to fit down in there. Oh gosh, yeah, they can just sit there loose. Sorry. You got all kinds of room in there. Okay, that's has a hole that fits down in there. Make sure you're not pinching anything. Look how tight it is. Man. Everything just fits so tight together. So I'm impressed. Very impressed. With everything fitting so tight together, that is a good thing. That pulls that in nice and flush. Okay, and there's one hole there somewhere. Okay, right there. Right there's a hole. And you're going to use up all of these long screws. Only you had to use one kind of screw for everything. It's the long, thinner, look like wood screws. I'll be willing to bet that gap right there is going to lessen. Yep. Now this would be a good candidate in there for a ring, maybe, for a afterburner ring, maybe, but yeah. Okay. Whoa, I keep hitting stuff. I'm like a bull in a china shop sometimes. Okay, then we put that in there, and we put this in. I don't know how that just, and that's like made of a hard plastic, but it's got a rubbery feel to it, but it's not bendable. But to be honest, it's for decoration, but I want to stand this on its nose, so I'm going to leave this off. But that would go in there if you want to use it. Is it just me, or does that look like eyeballs to you? All right, now we're going to take some glue, add these veins, or I don't know what they are. Good old multi-purpose, best glue ever, Chinese glue. Okay. From what I can tell, this is the only thing that you use glue on. Rock it in the front and then slide it down. There's a definite channel. Only one place for it to go. It only fits one way. Lock it in like that. Feed it in the channel. It only fits that one way. All right. And that is the basic unbox and build of the HSD JETS F-9 COUGAR. Plug and play. $279. I think that's the price. Yeah, $279. The gear are fixed. You do not have flaps. It is a basic ball link. I mean, it is a basic 4-channel plane So basically we're looking at performance, not so much features. So, but given these cutouts and everything and the way that is cut, you could add retracts. Now I don't see any way of adding flaps, okay, unless you wanted to, I don't know, cut something, but why? This plane is going to be a very efficient plane because this is very, very light, but extremely, I just can't get over how strong it feels. I mean, this thing feels so strong. Make sure that you pull them back, slide the wing in, let them click in forward. If you don't hear them click in, start over. And then that way it's done. But now, I'm wondering if this thing will stay flat without rocking backwards. Nope. Nope, no such luck. But that's okay. All right. And it's got suspension, so that's good. Okay. All right. Well, that's the unboxing build of the HSD, am I saying it right? HSD JETS F-9 COUGAR, 80 millimeter. And I want to do a little bit of research online. We'll come back and we'll do the radio setup. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, faith, family, and friends, HSD JETS, thank you for this plane. I did not ask for it. They sent it to me. And they said, please review it. And I said, okay. So that's what we're going to do. All right, God bless y'all. God is great. Don't forget, faith, family, and friends, and then really cool jets. Bye.